Hey friends, it's Dimitri with Rubashka Streetwear. Happy New Year, happy 2023. So I wanted to make a video for you guys about 2022 and do a year in review, things I learned, challenges I had, and then, what I'm gonna do for the new year, kind of some goals and stuff. So the biggest change in 2022 for sure was doing this full time because I think it was in May, I made a video about this. I had a back injury. Well, something happened like with my back. Ended up in the hospital. Then I was like, you know what? I can't have two full time jobs anymore. I gotta do this. Even though I was planning on finishing my day job at the end of this year because it was just a faster way to save up money and because you have two full incomes coming in. But it didn't work out that way, and in many ways I'm glad it didn't because this has been a lot of fun for the past 6 or so months, wrapping up this year, and I learned a lot about myself. It actually reminds me a lot of when I moved out of my parents' house. So I didn't move out until I was 23. um, Ideally, I think it's a good thing to move out earlier because it forces you to grow faster and you learn a lot through that process. But another flip side to that is that if you stay at your parents longer, obviously you're going to save a lot of money in rent if your parents are gracious enough for you for that. But that also requires you to be very prudent in your actions and not squander that time, obviously. So yeah, I remember I moved out when I was 23 and I got my own apartment, and I was just on my own, and it was kind of scary at first because it's like, oh man, I have to make sure I make enough money for rent and for food and all this stuff, which I did. But then I remember at that point in time I got my day job that I had before, and my income shot up a lot, and that helped me to grow my brand as well because I had lots of extra money to play around with, and you can make mistakes and do this and that. But when you dive headfirst into running like a brand full time, you have to really make sure that it's set up adequately enough where you have room to make mistakes, room to grow and do this and that. And so far it's been going pretty good. I've been, on my own. This has been my basically my only real source of income. I've been able to pay my bills, grow the brand as well, which has been great. As you could tell, some things in here are rearranged a bit. There's a lot more books up there. I moved some shelves around. I actually got, I think, 3 or 4 new inventory shelves during this year, which means that my amount of products has been growing, which is good, and inventory has been growing. It's good when you have a large inventory, but that inventory is getting cycled through. So that's what you want. You don't want everything piling up, but you're not making consistent sales and growth in those sales to match what amount of inventory you have. So yeah, that's been like the biggest thing is just doing this full time and having fun with it. And then obviously, the next thing that came out as a result of doing this full time is I have more time to obviously invest in the business. And then I started Bunker, which is super fun. And actually, I don't know if I really explained how this started. And this is just a sticker and the brand logo. That actually started because because we moved into a new home, and my father-in-law's, they had a spare home for us, and we remodeled it. And I remember I made videos about this. I found a large format book full of like planes and jets, and my father-in-law was like, oh man, just throw it out because it was falling apart. Like the spine was ripped and everything, but the pages in there were like fine, and the book was really cool. I'm like, man, I don't want to throw this out. It's super cool. And then I was like, oh, why don't I just unbind the pages and then sell them as posters? And there's actually one hanging up there, like one of my favorite aircraft, and all of those sold out within 24 hours. And then it got me thinking, it's like, man, I always come across really cool stuff in like thrift stores, antique stores, online, and I buy it, and I have a whole wall of art and stuff. And I'll make a short tour video too, kind of showing like some changes in the office. And if you guys are interested in that, I'll make another one. And I'll show you the art wall and stuff. So I always find a bunch of cool stuff, and I'm like, man, I have a large like customer audience base, and there's already like 66,000 people on the Instagram. So, and the stuff I make, like the t-shirts and stuff, that's very in line with, you know, all the aesthetic stuff that I find. So then I started that side of my store, the vintage collectibles items and books, and you could tell I have a bunch of books, and those are really fun to sell. So that basically spun off as a hobby. I mean, it is an income source too, and it's been helping my store grow a lot to get more income flowing in, because there's a lot of times there's higher margins on all these collectibles that I'm selling. So yeah, that's been a lot of fun, because as fun as it is to run a brand, sometimes you can get lost into all the intricacies of business, and it's good to have like an outlet where you can have more fun. I think the most fun for me with running the business obviously is designing the stuff, because, you know, I get to source through lots of graphic elements and create t-shirts and stuff. And then I like to organize and make systems. But then, you know, obviously a lot of other stuff running the brand is monotonous, and it's, you know, oh, I have to do inventory, I have to do taxes, I have to count this, I have to email this customer. A lot of that stuff is not really super fun. It's just stuff you have to do. But having little outlets of fun, pockets of fun, hobbies within your business and brand, that is something that you should look forward to. And that's like, you know, a lot of fun. After I get done with all the boring stuff, I get to do, you know, all of this and run Bunker and design t-shirts. So that's a lot of fun. So that's obviously another big thing that happened in 2022 that I'm glad. And it all spun out from, you know, having an accident, or having a health problem, and then moving, and then remodeling, and then this happens. And like, it's cool to kind of trace back how your own history in your life happens. Even like the other day, actually, I was thinking about this because I was getting a haircut, and at the salon, I was just thinking, man, how did I like start the brand? It honestly just happened one day, and I was trying to think back to before I started it, like what was my mindset like, and why did I want to start a brand? And I remember in high school, like seeing really cool brands and like t-shirt graphics, and I was into graphic design. I'm like, man, it'd be so cool to start a brand. And then it's really interesting how you end up in places in life, and trying to like track that backwards. And then another thing that happened is that in 2022, my operations got a little bit better, obviously, because I had more time to run the business, and I was here like physically present more every day, instead of just working like, you know, maybe like 4 hours a day and then having a day job. I work here at 8 to 12 hours a day now. 8 is on a normal day, and then 10 and 12 hours is like, oh man, we're having a drop. Oh, I have to do inventory and like label everything and package everything. So like there's days where it's like really tiring. Not gonna lie, this entire week, from Christmas onwards until the new year, was absolutely exhausting. There's some days where you might be very exhausted doing stuff. I'm really like thinking, I know I have Michael here that helps me once in a while, but I'm really thinking, man, I need to get him more on board here and other people in the future. Like, I need to really plan out more systems for 2023 and get things geared so that a person can come in to here and help me out. And also I have to, you know, set up my finances and stuff where I can accommodate that. Because when you onboard employees, really what you want them to do is take off tasks that you don't want to be doing, like lower value tasks, like obviously like cleaning, packing orders, emails, all that kind of stuff. Because what I know, my brain power and my creative outlets that I'm geared towards, that is where I need to be spending more of my energy. So that's you're trying to get that stuff covered. And also, as the owner, you're geared towards making basically more income for your brand. But also for the B part, the employee, they also have to have a function where they're increasing revenue for your brand, because otherwise you're hiring them, but they might not, obviously you'll be making more income, but it might not be enough to cover like salary and all that kind of stuff, because you have to pay them and all that stuff. So they have to cover a role where they're increasing revenue. So that will, make more money for you and for them to get paid and, live life and all that kind of stuff. That was kind of a tangent, but, I've been thinking about that a lot. So operations, that's what I was talking about. One really, really good thing that's happened is that I'm able to have a way faster turnaround time with shipping out orders. Most likely, if you purchase something on my store, like 90% of the orders now, it will get out the same day. So I have same day shipping, which is super cool. Unless obviously there's a pre-order. The last drop I did was pre-orders, because I think at the end of the year, the screen printing companies are super busy. They're fulfilling like Christmas obligations. There's probably a lot of people that did Black Friday orders, that kind of stuff. But I think I'll be getting a lot of stuff in this new week of the new year. But yeah, like my turnaround time has been much faster, and also I'm able to plan out and coordinate stuff much better for this year. For 2022, which is really good. But as the time increased to run my operations and stuff did get better, it was challenging for me mentally and physically for this year. And I'm not going to lie about that. That was something that's been tough for me this year. Obviously leading up to when I went into the hospital and then out of it, it's, like I've just been having like health issues, just like aches and pains and all this stuff. And then that also messes with my brain. And when that happens, some days there would be like I would come to the office and I would work like, I don't know, just a few hours, and then I just could not mentally do anymore. I'd go home, just like lay in bed, and because like my body was aching and stuff like that. I had like really weird like body pains, and that was very difficult to deal with. As of now, I'm okay and I could work full days and stuff, but there was days in the summer where I just could not do it, and I would either be in bed or I'd be outside working on the house that we live in, that we were remodeling, because that was another weird thing too, actually. So my day job back then was doing landscaping and stuff like that, and that was like I was physically there, my body was moving around, you're getting fresh air, oxygen, your blood is pumping. And there's a lot less of that here in the office. I don't even have like a real window in here, which is mentally draining for me. So that was actually a harder transition to do than I thought. And some days I would leave the office early and just go outside and work and stuff, because I didn't know what to do. Because it's like, okay, I have all this time. Now I have to figure out how to fill it in with my business to grow the brand and grow revenue. Because that's really what you have to do. If you're quitting a job and you're going into your business full time, you have to figure out how to focus your energy onto revenue generating activities in your business, and getting more customers, making more products, making cooler and more products that attract more customers, that kind of stuff. So that was just like a weird transition in my life, doing all that kind of stuff. And then one thing that I actually have started to combat health and all that kind of stuff is, obviously I started going to chiropractor. That's been helping a lot. I just got a new gym membership, which is exciting. I really want to, and I didn't get it for New Year's. I got it last week because I didn't want to be one of those guys. Because I was like, okay, I have more time in my life to invest in this brand and my personal self. So like health, mental health, reading books. And I was like, all right, I need to, first of all, like spiritually invest in my life, like, that's number one in my life. But then also like mentally, you know, I want to, oh, the light went out. Sorry guys. These aren't edited. Mentally, I need to like do stuff that's more mentally stimulating. And then physically, like take care of my health, because if you don't have good physical health, it's going to really impact the way you run your business and being the owner and stuff like that. Because you really need to be like sharp, focused on your brand, be healthy, wake up every day, eat good food, like all that cheesy kind of stuff. It's actually like so true to take care of that. And so I got a gym membership, and I've been going there all week, and I've been feeling a lot better. I come into the office like really energized. Today I'm not energized because today's Sunday, so it's my rest day. I don't go to the gym on Sunday, but also it was New Year's Eve and all that, and I'm like crazy tired today. You could probably hear it in my voice. But yeah, and it's actually really nice. So at my house, and then the gym is on the way to the office, and then from the gym I go to the office. So it's like a really nice, like strategically planned way to get here, because it takes me 10 minutes from my house to the office. So and I used to go to a different gym back then before I quit that, and it was like out of the way. And then they moved to a new location that's even more out of the way, and all, you know, it's in a like crappier building, and they lost amenities. But this new gym I have is just like super nice, and it's the same cost as the other one. So I'm really happy about that. And it just, exercising really obviously improves your physical health, but also your mental health. It does a lot of things too. It increases endorphins and all that kind of stuff, and dopamine, and it helps you get your day started. So I recommend that for you guys going into this year. Do that. Focus on your physical, mental health, and it will impact you in a great way for your brand and business that you're running. As for the new year, you know, I have goals and stuff, and I need to finish writing it out. But that's an important thing, and I'm not gonna say my goals. Actually, I will say them vaguely in a video, but I'm not gonna specifically go out and say everything, because that's one thing you don't want to do. You don't want to verbally just say what you're going to do, all this kind of stuff, because mentally it can trick your brain into thinking that you're already accomplishing them, or you're in the process of accomplishing them. And then you can actually go backwards and not do them because you're tricking your brain that way. I know it's a weird thing, but it's true. So yeah, I will make a video about goals and this new year and some plans, and like give you guys some ideas to strategize so you can start off this year really great. But yeah, that was kind of a review in 2022. A couple other things. I increased my sales and like revenue by 14%. So that's a good thing. Every year that your sales are going up and you're growing, that's a good thing. If you have an off year and they go down, that really means you need to reevaluate what you're doing, or, you know, stuff like that. So yeah, that was 2022 in review. I think it was overall a pretty decent year. There's ups and downs, but the brand grew. I had fun. I'm doing this full time. And yeah, I really need to make more YouTube videos for you guys. So hope that all of you start the new year off great, and hope you had a great 2022, and I'll catch you guys later. Thanks.